The sun was setting on planet Turai, painting the alien sky in shades of deep purple and orange. June checked his oxygen levels one more time. They were good. He had 3 more hours before he needed to return to Harmony Station. June was a human scientist who studied alien life. He had been on Turai for 2 years now. The dense forests of this planet still amazed him. Trees with blue leaves reached high into the sky, and strange, glowing moss covered the ground. Small flying creatures that looked like a mix between birds and jellyfish floated between branches. Sample 347 collected, Jum said into his recorder as he carefully placed a small blue flower into a container. Possible medicinal properties based on preliminary scans. He was about to move deeper into the forest when he heard it. A soft sound, like a moan. June froze. In 2 years on Turai, he had never directly encountered any of the intelligent native species. The Turaians kept to themselves, avoiding the human research station entirely. "Hello," June called out, then remembered to switch on his universal translator. It repeated his greeting in several known alien languages. The sound came again, clearer this time. It was coming from behind a large boulder covered in the glowing moss. June approached slowly, his heart beating faster. He knew the rules. Report any Turaian sightings immediately. Make no contact without authorization. But what if someone was hurt? When he rounded the boulder, he saw her. She was clearly Turaian, with skin that shimmered like mother-of-pearl, changing colors slightly as she breathed. Her face was almost human-like, but with larger, almond-shaped eyes of solid amber. No whites, no pupils, just amber. Her hair was not hair at all, but rather thin, feather-like growths in shades of teal and silver. She was lying on her side, her slim body curled up. Dark blue markings covered her arms and face. June had been briefed on Turaian appearance, but the database images didn't capture how beautiful they were in person. "Are you hurt?" June asked, kneeling beside her. His translator made clicking and humming sounds. The Turaian's eyes widened at the sight of him. She didn't run or show fear. Instead, she reached out one delicate, 6-fingered hand toward him. The translator couldn't make sense of her soft words. June scanned her with his medical device. The readings were confusing. The blue markings on her skin registered as recent changes to her tissue, but not exactly as wounds. Still, she seemed weak. "I should call this in," June muttered to himself. Protocol was clear, but the nearest response team was hours away, and night was falling. The temperature would drop dangerously low. The Turaian female made another sound and tried to sit up. She winced and fell back. June made his decision. "I'm going to help you," he said, hoping his translator was working at least one way. "My home is not far. I can treat you there." He carefully lifted her. She was lighter than he expected, almost weightless in his arms. The Turaian did not struggle. Instead, she relaxed against his chest. Her amber eyes studied his face with what seemed like curiosity. Then, to his surprise, she reached up and touched his cheek with 3 of her 6 fingers. "Nari," she said clearly, touching her own chest. "Your name is Nari?" June asked. She repeated the word, nodding slightly. "I'm June," he said, pointing to himself. As he carried her through the darkening forest toward Harmony Station, June had no idea he had just changed the future of human-Turaian relations forever. He thought only of getting her medical help, unaware that the simple act of carrying her to his home meant something entirely different in her culture. The blue markings on her skin were not injuries at all. They were part of an ancient ritual, one that June had unwittingly accepted. June's small living quarters at Harmony Station were not made for 2. He carefully placed Nari on his bed and turned up the heat. His training told him that Turaians preferred warmer temperatures than humans. "Computer, dim lights to 60%, Jum said. The bright lights might hurt her sensitive amber eyes. Nari looked around the room with clear interest. Her gaze moved from his books to his plants to the star charts on the wall. She did not seem scared or in pain anymore. Jun grabbed his medical kit and approached slowly. "I'm going to try to help you," he said, pointing to the blue markings on her arms. The translator hummed, trying to convert his words. Neri sat up straighter. She touched one of the blue markings and then pointed at Jun. Her expression was hard to read, but she didn't pull away when he came closer. The scanner in Jun's hand beeped as he passed it over her skin. The reading still confused him. The blue marks were not wounds, but they were not natural either. They looked like some kind of dyed or ink just under her skin. "These aren't injuries," Jun muttered, mostly to himself. Neri spoke, her voice musical and high. The translator caught a few words. "Chosen, mark, worthy." "I don't understand," Jun said, shaking his head. "Why were you in the forest alone? Were you lost?" Neri smiled for the first time. Her teeth were small and pearly white, much like human teeth. She shook her head and said something the translator couldn't catch at all. A loud knock at the door made them both jump. "Jun, your biosensors went crazy on your last expedition. Are you okay?" It was Dr. Yun, the head scientist. Jun looked at Neri, who had moved back on the bed, her eyes wide. He should report this immediately. But something made him hesitate. "I'm fine," he called back. "Just a small cut that triggered the sensors. I've treated it." "Are you sure? I can come in and—" "No," Jun said too quickly. "I mean, I'm tired and about to sleep. We can talk tomorrow." There was a pause. "All right. But come see me first thing in the morning." Jun waited until Dr. Yun's footsteps faded. He turned back to Neri. "I don't know why I did that," he admitted. Neri was looking at him with those unblinking amber eyes. Slowly, she reached into a small pouch at her waist. She pulled out something and held it out to Jun. It was a crystal, no bigger than his thumb, that glowed with a soft blue light, the same blue as the markings on her skin. "For you," the translator caught clearly. "First, gift." Jun took the crystal carefully. It was warm to the touch and seemed to pulse slightly, like it had its own heartbeat. "Thank you," he said, confused but touched by the gesture. Neri nodded, looking pleased. She gestured at the room and then at herself, saying something long and complex that the translator couldn't handle. "You want to stay here?" Jun guessed. She nodded eagerly. "Just for tonight," Jun said firmly. "Tomorrow we need to figure out how to contact your people." Neri's expression didn't change, but she tilted her head like she was trying to understand him better. Jun set up a makeshift bed for himself on the floor, giving Neri his bed. As he lay down, he watched her examining the crystal she had given him. She had placed it on the table beside the bed. In the soft blue glow, Jun could see that the markings on her skin pulsed with the same light, like they were somehow connected to the crystal. What did it mean? What were these markings really for? Jun fell asleep with questions spinning in his mind. He didn't notice how Neri watched him throughout the night, her amber eyes never closing, a small smile on her face. The first gift had been accepted. The ritual had begun. Morning came too quickly. Jun woke up with a stiff back from sleeping on the floor. He sat up and looked at his bed, half expecting Neri to be gone. But she was still there, sitting cross-legged on his bed. The blue markings on her skin looked brighter in the morning light. "Have you been awake all night?" Jun asked. Neri smiled and nodded. She pointed to his small kitchen area, where Jun was surprised to see his few belongings had been rearranged in neat, strange patterns. His cups were in a circle. His plates were stacked in a way that looked almost like a small tower. "You did this?" Jun asked, confused. Neri nodded again, looking proud. She said something the translator picked up as home, prepared, together. Before Jun could ask what she meant, his communication device beeped loudly. Dr. Yun was calling. "Jun, I need to see you immediately." Dr. Yun's voice was serious. "The sensors detected non-human life forms in your quarters last night." Jun looked at Neri, who was watching him with those unblinking amber eyes. He couldn't hide her anymore. "I'll be right there," Jun said. "But Dr. Yun, I'm bringing someone with me." 20 minutes later, Jun and Neri stood in Dr. Yun's office. The older scientist stared at Neri with wide eyes. "You brought a Turian into the station." Dr. Yun's voice was low but angry. "Without authorization, without quarantine. She was in the forest, alone," Jun tried to explain. "I thought she was hurt." Dr. Yun turned to look at Neri more carefully. "Those are not injuries," she said, pointing to the blue markings. "They look ritualistic." She switched on her more advanced translator. "Can you understand us?" she asked Neri directly. Neri nodded, then spoke slowly. The translator caught more of her words this time. "I understand some. Human language difficult." "Why were you in the forest?" Dr. Yun asked. Neri looked at Jun, then back at Dr. Yun. "Waiting. For Worthy One." Dr. Yun frowned. "Worthy One? You mean Jun?" Neri nodded again, smiling. She reached out and touched Jun's arm gently. "He carried me. He accepted first gift." Dr. Yun's eyes widened. "Oh no," she said quietly. She looked at Jun. "We need to research Turian customs immediately. This could be more complicated than we thought." Just then, the door opened and Da, another scientist, walked in. When he saw Neri, he stopped in surprise. "Whoa, is that a Turian?" Da asked, moving closer to look at Neri. Neri immediately stepped between Da and Jun. Her posture changed, becoming more rigid and protective. She made a low sound that the translator didn't catch. Day backed up a step. "What's her problem?" "I think," Dr. Yun said slowly, "she's protecting Jun." Day laughed. "Looks like you got yourself a space girlfriend, Jun." Jun felt his face get hot. "Don't be ridiculous. I found her injured, or at least I thought she was injured. And I helped her. That's all." But as he said it, Jun remembered how Neri had rearranged his things, how she had given him the crystal, how she looked at him with those intense amber eyes. Was there something more going on? After the meeting, Jun returned to his quarters with Neri. To his surprise, she had brought more things while he was gone. Small, glowing flowers were placed around his room. Strange, smooth stones were arranged on his desk. "What are these?" Jun asked, picking up one of the stones. "Gifts," Neri said clearly. "For our home." Our home. The words made Jun feel strange. What exactly did Neri think was happening between them? He didn't know it yet, but he was about to find out. 3 weeks passed. Jun and Neri fell into a strange routine. Each day, she would add something new to his quarters. A strange plant, a shining rock, or a handmade item. The translator was working better now, after Dr. Yun had updated it with more Turian language patterns. But Neri still wouldn't explain why she had been in the forest that day or what the blue markings meant. Jun was in the lab when the alarm sounded. Red lights flashed in the hallways. "Attention all personnel," came Commander Min's voice over the speakers. "Report to the main hall immediately. This is not a drill." When Jun arrived at the main hall with Neri close behind him, he saw something that made him stop in his tracks. 5 tall Turians stood at the front of the room, their skin shimmering with different colors. They wore long robes made of a material that seemed to flow like water. "They just appeared at our gates," Commander Min explained to the gathered humans. "They asked to speak with us. This is the first official contact we've had with the Turians in the 5 years we've been on this planet." One of the Turians stepped forward. His skin had a golden glow, and the feathery growths on his head were silver and deep purple. When he spoke, his voice was deep and musical. "We come in peace," the advanced translator said. "We seek the human who honors our sacred ways." The room went quiet. Nobody moved. Then Neri stepped forward and spoke to the Turian leader. She pointed at Jun. The leader's amber eyes widened. He came closer, looking at June with interest. "You are the one who found Nari with the chosen markings?" he asked. June nodded slowly. "Yes, I found her in the forest. I thought she was hurt." The Torayan leader made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Not hurt, marked for the wounded choosing," he explained. "It is our most sacred ritual." Dr. Yun stepped forward. "What is this ritual?" The Torayan leader looked at all the humans. "When a female of our kind is ready to bond with a mate, she marks herself with the sacred blue dye and places herself in the path of potential mates. If a male finds her and carries her to his dwelling, it means he accepts the bond. It is a marriage ritual that goes back thousands of years." June felt like the floor had dropped out from under him. "Marriage," he said weakly. Neri came to his side and took his hand. Her amber eyes looked into his. "Yes," she said clearly. "You brought me home. You cared for me. You accepted my gifts." The Torayan leader nodded. "The crystal was the first binding gift. By accepting it, you began the bonding process, the rearranging of your dwelling, the bringing of natural gifts. These are all parts of our marriage custom." June looked around at the shocked faces of his colleagues. Dae was trying not to laugh. Dr. Yun looked worried. Commander Min was frowning deeply. "I didn't know," Jum said. "I thought I was helping someone who was hurt." The Torayan leader's expression changed. "You did not know our ways, yet you showed kindness to one of our own. This is why Nari chose to place herself in your path. She had watched you many times in the forest, studying our world with respect." Commander Min stepped forward. "This is a misunderstanding. Surely the bond can be broken if June didn't know what he was agreeing to." The room went very quiet. Nari's grip on June's hand tightened. Her skin color darkened slightly, showing what might be distress. "You do not understand," the Torayan leader said. "Nari is my daughter. She is from our highest clan. This union is now a matter of great importance to our people." June felt the weight of every eye in the room on him. What had started as a simple act of kindness had just become a diplomatic incident that could affect relations between humans and Torayans forever. Commander Min called an emergency meeting in her office. June sat nervously at the table with Dr. Yun beside him. The Torayan leader, who had introduced himself as Juan, sat across from them. Nari stood by the window, her amber eyes fixed on the forest outside. "This situation is unexpected," Commander Min said carefully. "But perhaps we can use it to improve relations between our peoples." Juan's feathery head growths shifted, showing what might be interest. "For 5 years, we have watched your kind study our world," he said. "We stayed apart because we did not know your intentions." "Our intentions are peaceful," Dr. Yun said quickly. "We only wish to learn." Juan looked at June. "This one has shown that humans can act with kindness without expecting anything in return. This is why my daughter chose him." June felt his face grow hot. "I still don't understand. Nari, why did you choose me specifically?" Nari turned from the window. In the 3 weeks they had lived together, her English had improved. "I watched you in forest many times," she said. "You never hurt plants. You take only what you need. You speak to animals with respect. You have good heart." "But we don't know each other," June said. Juan made that laughing sound again. "In our culture, marriage begins with respect and grows into knowing. It is not like human marriage." Commander Min leaned forward. "What exactly does this marriage mean for our two peoples? The Torayans have kept their distance until now." Juan's skin shimmered with blue and gold colors. "Nari is from the High Clan. Her choice of mate affects all Torayans. If her mate is human, then we must open relations with humans." Dr. Yun couldn't hide her excitement. "This could be an amazing opportunity. We've been trying to learn about Torayan technology and knowledge of this planet for years." "Yes," Juan agreed. "And we have been curious about human ways too. This joining could benefit both our peoples." June felt overwhelmed. "Don't I get a say in this?" he asked. The room went quiet. Nari's skin darkened with blue marks of distress. Juan spoke softly. In our ways, you already gave your consent when you carried her home and accepted her gifts. But, he paused, looking at Neri, we understand you did not know our customs. If you truly wish to reject the bond, there would be consequences, but it could be done. What consequences? Commander Min asked sharply. Dishonor for Nari and her clan. Likely, we would withdraw all contact with humans again, Juan said simply. Such rejection is very rare in our culture. June looked at Nari. Her amber eyes met his, and he saw something there, not just hope, but a genuine connection that had grown between them over the past weeks. She had been kind, helpful, and fascinating to be around. Was being married to her really such a terrible fate? I don't want to reject the bond, Jones said slowly, but I need time to adjust to this idea. In human culture, marriage is a big step. Relief washed over Nari's face. Her skin brightened back to its pearly glow. This is acceptable, Juan said. You have until the next full moon cycle to fully accept or reject the bond. For now, we will proceed as if the bond is valid, and begin formal relations between our peoples. Commander Min nodded, looking relieved. Thank you for your understanding. As they left the meeting, Dr. Yun pulled June aside. Do you realize what you've done? You've just opened the door to the biggest cultural exchange in human history on this planet. June watched Neri talking animatedly with her father. I just helped someone I thought was hurt, he said quietly. I never expected to start a diplomatic revolution, or to get married. But as he watched Neri, he wondered if maybe this unexpected turn of events wasn't so bad after all. The sun rose over the forest of Turai, painting June's small quarters in golden light. He sat cross-legged on the floor across from Neri. Between them lay various objects. A cup, a plant, a book, and some tools. Cup, June said slowly, pointing. Cup, Nari repeated, her musical voice making the simple words sound beautiful. June pointed to the next item. Plant. Plant, Nari echoed, then added something in her own language. That's right, June said with a smile. And in your language it's... He tried to repeat the Turayan word, and Nari's amber eyes lit up with delight. She made that sound that June now knew was laughter. Almost, she said in English. Try again. For 2 weeks now, they had been teaching each other their languages. June was learning Turayan, while helping Nari improve her English, and teaching her some Korean words as well. The more they talked, the more June understood about Turayan culture. Nari, June said carefully, I want to understand more about the marriage bond in your culture. Nari's skin shifted colors slightly, showing a pattern that June had come to recognize as thoughtfulness. Turayan marriage not like human marriage, she explained. Not about love at first, about respect, protection, working together. She paused, searching for words. Love can grow later, like seed grows to plant. So it's a partnership first? June asked. Nari nodded eagerly. Yes, partnership. Good word. She reached out and touched his hand gently. I chose you because I saw how you work, how you think, how you care for things. Good partner qualities. June felt oddly touched. In human marriages, people usually fall in love first, then get married. Strange way, Nari said, tilting her head. How you know if love will last, if partner is good at life things? June laughed. I guess we don't know. Maybe that's why so many human marriages fail. They were quiet for a moment. Then Nari spoke softly. You worry about bond. I know this. June nodded. It's a big change. Very sudden. Nari's skin darkened slightly with concern. Turayan law says, if bond not working after one season cycle, can end with no dishonor. Really? June asked, surprised. Your father didn't mention that. 8 Earth months, Nari explained. Time to try partnership. If not good match, can separate with no shame. Relief washed over June. The pressure of a lifetime commitment had been weighing on him. Knowing there was a way out if things didn't work made everything feel less scary. "Thank you for telling me that," he said. Neri looked at him with those intelligent amber eyes. "I want you to choose freely, not from fear." In that moment, Jun felt something shift between them. Neri wasn't just an alien female he had accidentally married. She was becoming a friend, someone he enjoyed talking with, learning from. "There's something I don't understand," Jun said. "You could have chosen any Torayan male. Why choose an alien who doesn't know your customs?" Neri's skin rippled with colors that showed she was thinking deeply. "Torayan males. Too careful. Too same. You different. You see world fresh. Ask questions others not think to ask." She looked down. "Maybe I different too. Not fit well with own people sometimes." June understood then. Neri was like him in a way. A bit of an outsider, curious about things beyond her own culture. "We're going to be okay," Jun said, surprising himself with how much he meant it. "Whatever happens, I'm glad we met." Neri's skin glowed with happiness. "Me too," she said simply. As they continued their language lesson, Jun realized that communication was about more than just words. It was about finding connection across the stars. News of the human-Torayan marriage spread quickly. Scientists from other human stations wanted to meet Neri. Torayans who had never shown themselves before now came to visit Harmony Station. June and Neri found themselves in the center of it all. "Can you explain how the blue moss in the eastern forest changes color with the seasons?" asked a human botanist, leaning forward eagerly. Neri nodded. "The moss connects to tree roots. When trees drink less water in cold season, moss turns darker blue." The botanist looked amazed. "That's incredible. We've been studying that moss for 2 years and couldn't figure it out." Later that day, a group of young Torayans asked June about human music. He played them songs from Earth on his small music device. Their feathery head growths swayed with the rhythm, colors shifting in what seemed to be delight. "Human sounds so different," one young Torayan said. "But good different." Neri was watching from across the room, her amber eyes bright. She came to sit beside June as the young Torayans left. "You make my people happy," she said quietly. "Many were afraid of humans before." June smiled. "And you've taught our scientists more in 2 weeks than they learned in 5 years of research." It wasn't always easy, though. Some humans at the station still looked at Neri with suspicion, and not all Torayans approved of the union. One evening, as June and Neri walked through the garden area of the station, they overheard 2 human technicians talking. "How do we know she isn't just gathering information to use against us?" one said. "And why does he get special access to their knowledge?" The other added, "It's not fair." June felt his face grow hot with anger, but Neri touched his arm gently. "They afraid of what they don't understand," she said. "Same as some of my people." She was right. That same day, an older Torayan had refused to speak with June, turning away when he approached. "That was Suk," Neri explained later. "He thinks mixing with humans will weaken our culture." "Maybe he's right," June said, suddenly worried. "Am I damaging your traditions?" Neri's skin rippled with colors of determination. "Traditions must grow or die," she said firmly, "like forest after fire. New growth makes stronger trees." Dr. Yun was thrilled with everything Neri shared. With Neri's help, they mapped the complex underground water systems of Torai and identified plants with amazing healing properties. Commander Min was happy too. "The Torayan Council has agreed to regular meetings with us," she told June. "They're even talking about trading some of their technology. Do you know what this means?" June knew. Torayan technology was far ahead of human technology in some areas, especially in medicine and sustainable energy. This exchange could help millions of people back on Earth. One night, June found Neri looking at pictures of Earth on his computer. "So much water," she said, staring at images of oceans. And so many different kinds of humans. Would you like to see it someday? June asked. Neri looked at him, surprised. You would take me to your world. Maybe. If you wanted to go. Her skin glowed with excitement. And you will see more of my world too. My father says we can visit home village next moon cycle. June realized something then. In just a few weeks, his life had completely changed. He no longer thought of Earth as home. Home was wherever he and Neri were together. That night, as the 2 moons of Turai shone through their window, June looked at Neri and felt a new emotion growing inside him. It wasn't just friendship anymore. It was something deeper, something he hadn't expected. Was this what Neri had meant when she said love could grow later, like a seed grows into a plant? 6 months had passed since June found Neri in the forest. The relationship between humans and Turaians was better than ever. Trading of knowledge and occasional visits between Harmony Station and Turaian villages had become normal. June and Neri had settled into life together. Their quarters were now a mix of human and Turaian items, earth plants growing beside Turaian crystals, human books next to Turaian art. June had learned enough of the Turaian language to have simple conversations, and Neri spoke English almost perfectly now. One morning, a loud knock woke them. Commander Min stood at their door, looking worried. There's a situation, she said. A Turaian named Tai is at the main gate. He says he has a formal challenge for June. Neri's skin turned a dark blue with alarm. Ta, he is here. You know him? June asked. He is from my village, Neri said quietly. Before I chose you, his family wanted me to bond with him. Commander Min looked between them. He says there's some kind of ritual challenge he can make. Is this true? Neri nodded slowly. The rite of contest. It is very old, rarely used. If someone believes a bond was made incorrectly, they can challenge it. What does this challenge involve? June asked. Neri's amber eyes met his. You must face Ta in the trial of survival. In the most dangerous part of the forest. June felt his mouth go dry. I can refuse, right? Pain crossed Neri's face. If you refuse, our bond is broken. I would face great shame. An hour later, June stood at the main gate of Harmony Station. Before him was a tall Turaian male. Tay's skin was darker than Neri's, almost silver, and his feathery head growths were deep red. His amber eyes looked at June with clear dislike. You are not worthy of bonding with Neri of the High Clan, Ta said in perfect English. You know nothing of our ways. I've been learning, June said, trying to keep his voice steady. Tai made a dismissive gesture. Learning is not knowing. I challenge you to the trial of survival. 3 days in the forest of mists. If you survive and find your way back before me, you keep the bond. If not, Neri returns to our people, free to choose again. Dr. Yun, who was standing nearby, stepped forward. This is ridiculous. Turaians have natural advantages in your forest. June is human. He can't see in the dark like you can. He doesn't have your resistance to the plants. Ta smiled coldly. Exactly. If he truly deserves a Turaian mate, he must prove he can survive in our world. June looked at Neri, who stood very still, her skin a mix of worried colors. She had told him once that Turaian honor was everything to her people. If he refused this challenge, he would bring shame to her and destroy everything they had built between their peoples. I accept the challenge, June said. Later, in their quarters, Neri approached June with something wrapped in a shimmering cloth. This is for you, she said, unwrapping a small device that looked like a compass. It belonged to my grandfather. What is it? June asked, turning the strange object in his hands. It helps find paths through magnetic fields in the forest of mists. Neri explained. Most Turaians can feel these fields naturally. You cannot. Isn't this cheating? June asked. Neri shook her head. The rules say you cannot bring human technology. This is Turaian. She put her hand on his. And there is more. I will teach you about the forest tonight. Things Ta doesn't know I know. June looked at the determination in her amber eyes and felt a surge of love for her. She believed in him. We'll beat him together, he said. And when this is over, I want to formally accept our bond. No more trial period. If you'll have me. Nari's skin glowed with the brightest colors June had ever seen. The day of the challenge arrived too quickly. The entire Harmony Station gathered to watch as June and Todd prepared to enter the Forest of Mists. The forest got its name from the thick, white mist that always hung between the trees. Remember what I taught you? Nari whispered to June. The red berries are safe. The purple ones are not. Follow water downstream if you get lost. June nodded, feeling the small Taurian compass hidden in his pocket. He wasn't sure if his training with Nari would be enough, but he had to try. Juan, Nari's father, stepped forward. The trial begins now. Both of you must return within 3 days. The first to return wins the right to the bond. Ta gave June a cold look, then disappeared into the mist with amazing speed. June took a deep breath and followed. The forest was unlike anything June had experienced before. The mist made it hard to see more than a few steps ahead. Strange sounds came from all directions. Without the compass Nari had given him, June would have been lost immediately. On the first night, rain fell in sheets. June found shelter under a large leaf, just as Nari had taught him. He ate the red berries he had collected and thought of her. On the second day, June came to a wide river. The water moved too fast to cross safely. Ta could swim better than any human, but June had to find another way. He remembered something from his research. Many rivers on Turai had underground passages. He followed the riverbank until he found a small cave. Inside was a tunnel that led under the river to the other side. Science beats natural ability sometimes, June said to himself, smiling. The third day was the hardest. June was tired and his legs hurt. The strange insects of Turai had bitten him all over. But he kept going, following the compass toward the station. Suddenly, he heard a cry for help. Following the sound, he found Todd trapped in a pit of sticky plant matter, a rare carnivorous plant that even Turaians feared. Todd looked at June with hate and fear. Leave me. Win your challenge. June knew he could walk away. Todd would probably survive. Turaians were tough, but it might take him days to free himself, and by then June would have easily won. Instead, June found a long branch. Grab this, he said, extending it to Ta. Why are you helping me? Ta asked, as June pulled him free. Because it's the right thing to do, June answered simply. They walked back together, arriving at Harmony Station just as the third sun was setting. Everyone was waiting, including Nari, her skin pale with worry. When she saw both men returning together, her amber eyes widened in surprise. The human helped me when I was trapped, Ta announced loudly. He could have left me and won easily, but he chose honor over victory. He turned to June and bowed deeply. I withdraw my challenge. You are worthy of Nari's bond. That night, a great celebration was held. Humans and Turaians ate together, shared music, and talked as friends. Commander Min and Juan signed a formal treaty of cooperation between their peoples. June and Nari stood under the stars, away from the crowd. The 8 months are almost up, Nari said softly. The time when you could end our bond without dishonor. June took her hands in his. I don't want to end it. I want to make it official in both our traditions. Nari's skin glowed with happiness. You are sure? More sure than I've ever been about anything, June said. What started as a misunderstanding has become the best thing in my life. 2 weeks later, June and Nari were married again, this time in a ceremony that combined human and Turaian traditions. Scientists from Earth came to witness it. Turaians from all villages attended. What had begun with June bringing home someone he thought was injured had changed 2 worlds forever. Simple kindness had built a bridge across the stars that neither diplomacy nor science could have created alone. And for June and Neri, it was just the beginning of their story together.